What's up everyone, it's Kovarks here, back on the Kovarks Sports channel, and today we are going to be giving you our 2022 predictions for the Miami Hurricanes and NC State Wolfpack. We're going to start out today with the Miami Hurricanes. This is a team that, they're decent last year. They went 7-5, losses to good teams like Alabama and Michigan State, and then some close losses to some mediocre teams. They do have a key loss in Charleston Rambo, but they had a great recruiting class. They had a great transfer class. They've got Tyler Van Dyke back at quarterback now with some experience in his sophomore year. And of course, they got a really good coaching staff led by Mario Cristobal, a decent head coach at Oregon. This team, they may finally turn the corner. I think this is a very solid team. Got a chance to get some big wins this year. Or, maybe Miami still slumps. Maybe they can't get it done. I feel like this team is poised for a good season, but Miami seems to always let us down. So, looking at the schedule here, we've got Bethune-Cookman and Southern Miss to start out. Those should be 2 easy wins. Then you play Texas A&M on the road. Texas A&M is a younger team. I think they have a great future ahead of them. They're looking really good, but Miami is playing them on the road. It's a very tough place to play. The team is still going to be solid. It would surprise me if Miami could go in there and get the win. I don't think it's impossible. I think they've got a shot, but I think home field advantage gets it done, and the Aggies are able to beat the Canes in that one. But I do think they rebound against Middle Tennessee State. That should be an easy win. Then they get a bye week going into the conference schedule. Not a great time for one, but not a terrible time either. It's not like it's between two cupcake games or something. But they've got North Carolina next. This team, they are a disappointment last year. They lose quite a bit. Playing at home, I think Miami should be able to win. Then here is the game, Virginia Tech and at Virginia. These two games I feel like are going to be very difficult. They've got Duke in between there at home. Duke, I think, will probably be the worst team in the ACC. I don't see that one being an issue. But Virginia Tech and Virginia, those are two road games against teams with new coaches. They both should be decent, hovering around bowl eligibility. And I think, middle of the season, I think this is a great time for Miami to slip up. I just don't think they're quite there yet to win these games on the road. And so I'm predicting a loss in one of those two. And I went ahead and went with Virginia Tech in Blacksburg just because that's a really, really tough place to play. Virginia, not as much so. But I feel like both of those two games I could go back and forth. Maybe they win both. Maybe they lose both. I think they end up splitting them. And I see Virginia Tech being the slightly more difficult game. So I predicted them to lose that one. So I've got them going into the Florida State game with a 6-2 record. Florida State, I'm not, I think they'll be a good team. Mike Norvell, can he finally start getting it done? They're a 6-6, 7-5 team, but Miami playing at home, I think after a close win against Virginia, I think they will be able to go into this one and get a win. Then you've got Georgia Tech next. I'm predicting a win in this one, but it's right after a rivalry game against Florida State, right before a huge game at Clemson on the road. This could be a trap game. However, I think they learned from the Virginia Tech and Texas A&M losses. They're a much better team than Georgia Tech, in my opinion. I think they're able to go into Atlanta and get a win there. Then we've got Clemson coming up next. Clemson, they have a great defense. The offense struggled last year, but I think they'll be better. It's a very tough place to play. I don't know if I don't think Miami's there yet. If they're going to lose to Virginia Tech on the road, I don't see any way they lose to Clemson. Or I don't see any way they beat Clemson, I should say. So I will predict a loss in that one. I think Clemson's too good playing at home. I like the Tigers in that one. And then they've got Pittsburgh. This one may decide the division. Pittsburgh, they do lose Kenny Pickett, but they're still going to be a solid team. But I think, they'll be angry after the Clemson win. They're going to want to wrap up the division playing at home. I like Miami in that one, so I think they're going to win their division. They'll have a rematch against Clemson in the ACC Championship, and they'll go 9-3 in 2022. Next up, we've got the NC State Wolfpack. This is a very veteran team. All around, they return a lot of production. 10 defensive starters, 7 on the offense. This team is led by Devin Leary, the quarterback. He is a solid guy. He had 35 touchdowns and only 5 interceptions last year. Nearly 3,500 yards. Very, very solid quarterback. This is going to be a good team. They returned so much. They're decent last year. They went 9-3. This team has a chance to, maybe have a breakout year. Some people are saying they have a shot to make the playoff. They have an easier schedule, as we're going to look at here. I'm not quite so sure that they're good enough to make that giant leap, but they've got a shot to. So they start out with Eastern Carolina on the road. I'm fairly high on ECU. I think they'll be a 7-5 American team. You're playing on the road. Not an especially tough place to play, but still, you'd rather play at home. I just think NC State's too good. Maybe it's close for a half, but I think they pull away and they're able to win that one. Then you've got Charleston Southern, easy win. Texas Tech is a middle of the pack, Big 12 team. I think they've got a shot to make a bowl this year. But NC State playing at home, I think, just like the ECU game, they're just a little bit too good. And then, of course, I think they'll beat UConn. So I have them starting 4-0 before going into conference play, and what a way to start it off on the road against Clemson. I think NC State could play with Clemson. This is a veteran team. We don't know how good Clemson's offense is going to be. Will it rebound? NC State may end up having the better offense in this game, but that is a really solid Clemson defense. And Clemson's playing at home, and they're going to want revenge after last year. I think that all accumulates to a NC State loss. I think they get their first loss of the year here against the Tigers, and they fall to 4-1. But we've got Florida State next week. I just talked about them with Miami. I think they're a decent team, but I like NC State to rebound playing at home. And then Syracuse, they may make a bowl game this year. I don't think so. It's an okay team, but not great. I know it's on the road, but I think, you've got a bye week next, so you're not looking forward to anybody. I think NC State's able to get the win there. And they go into the Virginia Tech game 6-1. Virginia Tech, again, I've talked about a lot of these teams before. This is my last team prediction video of the offseason. It's a Thursday game. You're playing at home. The crowd's going to be rocking. Virginia Tech, I just said this. I think they're about a 6-6 team with their new head coach, but I think home field advantage helps them here. I think Virginia Tech's big win is going to be against Miami, not against NC State, so I have them winning this one. Wake Forest up next. You got that one at home. Wake Forest is going to be a decent team, but it looks like they won't have Sam Hartman for the season. That's a big loss. He was the biggest player on that team, and I think playing at home, NC State's able to get another win. And then Boston College, another middle-of-the-road ACC team, playing at home. You've got 3 games, Virginia Tech, Wake Forest, and Boston College. These are decent teams, not great, but definitely not bad. But you get them all at home, so I think they're able to win all 3 of those. They improve to 9-1. Here's the 2-game stretch, though, at Louisville and at North Carolina. 2 decent teams. I think, maybe Louisville goes 8-4, and North Carolina goes 7-5. These 2 teams, they're going to be middle-of-the-road ACC teams. You're playing both of them at home. The pressure starts to get to NC State. They're 9-1. They've got a shot to make the playoff. I think they end up splitting these, though. I'm going to give them the win against Louisville and the loss to North Carolina. I think the pressure gets to them in one of these. I went ahead and gave them the loss to UNC because it's on the road. Maybe a little bit more of a difficult place to play, but they're pretty even. Friday game, though, rivalry game. I think UNC bests you there. But I do think they beat Louisville. Another thing for the UNC game, I think going into that game, Clemson will have the division locked up, and so I don't know if NC State's going to have as much to play for. They could get into the playoff as an 11-1 team, but I highly doubt it. So I think that kind of takes the wind out of the sails, and I think UNC gets the win there. So I have Miami going 9-3, NC State at 10-2. Of course, because of the divisions, I have Miami playing Clemson in the ACC Championship. What do you guys think about these two teams? Do you have them doing better or worse? Who do you have them losing to? Make sure to let me know down below in the comments. This will be my last team prediction video for the season. I'm going to do conference championships tomorrow, and then we'll do playoff and New Year's 6. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up here. I'm sorry if we didn't get to your team. Hopefully next year I may be able to, but we're running out of we're running out of time, and the college football season is approaching quickly, which is very exciting. So if you want to see those playoff predictions and stuff coming up, make sure to subscribe, and then I'll have more videos throughout the actual college football season once we get there. But I want to thank you all very much for watching once again, and I'll see y'all next time. Take care. Bye.